So right there, a couple of things I was doing, and this is like I said, and this is like sort of meat and potatoes kind of thing. All right. So, and it's objective. Hey, what's meat and potatoes? Like what's basic and what's not. So I'm not trying to do anything necessarily flashy or anything like that, but sort of really basis kind of stuff. All right. Especially when we go to the to the from the one to the four. All right. But so from the beginning, I get joy when I think about right. Uh, what is that for me? I get joy when I think about right. So what we're doing is we're just going from the one, right? Uh, so I switch my chord. Uh, so so one right to the five. So now for my one chord, I'm playing. So that whole using just three notes, yeah, that applies some places, but when it's just you, there are places that you really have to be full. Okay. So what I'm doing is in my right hand. So now I'm playing a D flat major chord, right? But I'm putting that two in there. So it played a D flat major, add two, and I'm using my thumb. I'm spreading my thumb out to get those notes. And then in my left hand, of course, I'm doing the D flat tritone. Right. Now I'm also just adding that sixth in there, okay, or that 13th. So just to make it really full, okay. So right. So that five chord. So I'm playing D flat in my right hand, D flat, G flat, B flat, and then D flat on the top, okay? And then in my left hand, I'm playing G flat, B flat, and then that B natural. Okay, so, and then of course I here again I have that add two because I'm using my thumb. So, right, and I'm using that rhythm. Right. Right. So it's like you're hitting it in one hand and then finishing with the other. Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. So now I get joy when I think what he's done for me. So now the next place we're gonna go is at four, right? So 5, 1, 4. All right. So when I think about what he's done for me, I get joy. All right. So now right there, okay, I'm using a lot of tritones and left hand, so left hand tritones and foot because if it's just you, so let's say there was no bass player, right? You as an organ player, have to take care of and cover the bass. You have to cover the rhythm, okay? So let's say there was no click track, right? You know what I mean? So it was just hand clapping, right? So you got to take care of the rhythm as well as the bass, okay? So so it has to be that be rhythm. It has to be able. You got to be able to clap your hands to it. You got to be able to feel it. You know what I mean? Even though there might not be a bass player, sometimes there might not be a drummer. That's okay, because bass with organ, you're covering everything. You're covering the harmony. You're covering the rhythm. You're covering the melody. So it's like you have to sort of carry that whole thing. So right. So 5, 1, 4. So now we know that 4 chord, right? So 5, that 5 chord I just showed y'all, right? That 1 chord I just showed y'all, right? The tritone. So the tritone, F, B, D flat, E flat, F, A flat, to the D flat on the top, right? So now I'm playing the G flat tritone, which would be B flat and E, okay? Or technically F flat, okay? But like I said, I'm not gonna get too technical here, okay? So E, okay? And B flat. So now in my right hand though, I'm still playing that D flat. I'm playing an E flat with the other part of my thumb, E, A flat, and D flat. So it sounds like this. Just to give it that, to give it that little tension, to give it that little grit, to give it, that, little dissonance. So this is what it sounds without that little E flat in there. That's what it sounds like with it. With, without, with. You see? So just little stuff like that makes all the difference in the world, all right? So all right, so that's where we stop. All right, so let's move on. All right, and I'll do a breakdown. I'll do like a much more detailed breakdown in another video, but I'm just trying to give you just sort of an overview. All right, so right. All right, So when I'm on that 4 chord, right, my bass in my foot is just going, right? So, and see how I'm just playing rhythm, right? So it's like that James Brown movie, right, where it was like, he asked the horns, what is this? They said it's a horn. He's like, no, it's a drum. Asked the guitar player, what is this? It's a guitar. No, it's a drum. It's a drum. Every instrument, he said it's a drum, right? Well, it's the same thing. It's the same concept, right? Right? So it's like, percussive, all right? So say it's like you're playing percussion, okay? So, all right, so 2, 5, 1, and I'm walking that down from the 4. Doom, 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 doom. All right. So, and I'm doing that tritone. And here's another place where it's beneficial to do that. Why? Because I have to use that even now, because I have to play the tritones, right? I'm just using so I'm literally just using these fingers, right? So because I have to play it legato, all right, smoothly. All right, so all right, so I'll play it through. So that's, I mean, so I get joy when I think about right what he's done for me. So you're literally playing everything off that. Everything's gonna be sort of a variation, right? And then when they do the I get joy, do 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 do, that 1/4, right? So I mean, for that drive, right? All right. Now you don't got to do that every time. You know what I mean? So really, what you're just doing is and then when you double that bass. And then when you double that bass, right? When you're doubling that bass, that's when it, you now you have to be really full with your right hand, right? Something. So things that you would need is that right there. All right. You would need, you know, rhythm, right? Rhythm, left hand and foot coordination, especially with the tritones, right? And then you need percussive right hand, all right? Because like I said, as an organ player, you have to take care of it all. Like, so if you're in a situation where there's no bass player, right? It's just you and a drummer, you gotta compensate, all right? So you might not be sweet on pedals. Well, heel toe, right? Coordination, things like that. That just comes with slowing things down. All right. So and being being rhythmic. And so those are things that I'm going to delve into further, but I just wanted to give an overview of just some of the things to expect and some of the things that you want to be able to do if it were just you on organ or just you and a drummer and nothing else. Okay. All right.